So, welcome for once at our home on our balcony. Our greenhouse isn't heated, so anytime I propagate heat-loving plants, I do that at home. And today, for the Great Atlantic Melon Challenge, I am growing Minnesota Midget and Sugar Baby. And I'll be starting them in small pots that are 8 centimeters and large pots that are 11 centimeters. And this is what has been recommended to me for starting melons. However, I don't want them growing too much. I want them to really spread out their roots in a smaller space. And I've been experimenting with planting in different sized pots. So I'll continue that experiment with the melons as well. And normally I'd be planting in pure compost, but this time, also because I don't want them growing too fast, this is only about 2/3 compost. Our last frost date is mid-May, so I have 6 to 7 weeks before I can put them outside, which is the main reason why I don't want them growing too fast. And I'll be sowing 4 of each, because I want to keep some of the seeds back just in case these don't do well, in case they don't germinate or they have issues later on. So I want to keep some of the seeds back. If they all germinate, I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put them all, but I'd like 2 plants of each in the end. So I'll start with the Sugar Baby. And to really make this experiment scientific, I'm going to be putting 2 in the small pots and 2 in the large pots, and we'll see what does better. Let me mark the pots before I start putting them in. And I'm just going to push them in with my finger about 1 centimeter. And I'm going to be watering them in from the top in a minute, but I'm also going to bottom water them to really get the soil saturated. It was fairly moist, but I want to get it really saturated, so I'm putting it in the in the pans here with some water. All right, and for the Minnesota Midget, same thing, not very exciting. Close the baggies so I don't lose them. It's a bit windy today. And in this case, I'm going to dig the hole first because they're not as robust as the watermelon seeds. Okay. And of course, label these as well. All right. So I'll just let them sit out here for a bit, and then water them in a minute. I was commenting in Jane's Facebook group that I'm torn. We're in a warm weather climate, we're a wine growing climate, so we get really high temperatures and mostly sunny summers. But we've been known to have iffy summers as well. So I may try to spread my risk and put some of them in the greenhouse. but the greenhouse space is very limited, and that's actually where I wanted to put my chili peppers, so I still have to think about that. Maybe I'll put some on or near the compost, and maybe grow some across the lawn and grow some others vertically. Luckily I have 6 or 7 weeks to figure all that out. For now, I just hope they'll all germinate. All right, so I'll water them in just to get rid of any air bubbles that may be in there. And notice I'm taking up the space that the bees live in currently. They're back there, and they don't like having humans invading their space, so. So since we have 16 degrees Celsius today, I'll leave them out here in the sun for a bit, but I have to remember to take them back in before they could dry out again. Yeah, so I'm excited to see everyone else's videos, and we'll see who grows the biggest melons, or the most melons. I've never really grown them successfully. Last year we had melons that were similar to the Minnesota Midget, and they didn't start off well, and then they didn't grow well, and finally I repotted them into the greenhouse, and I had 1 fruit on them. But I'm hoping that this year, with everyone's expert advice, I'll do better. And even if I don't, it's an experiment, and I know others like Jane haven't had much success with melons either, so we'll just see how it goes, and see you then.